In the beginning, well, I remember my first day walking in the Indy. Nobody in there, unfortunately, but Melissa was talking about them doing a open mic night, and so Alan asked me to look at all the equipment, and it wasn't much to work with in the beginning, but we put on our first open mic night with 4 channels, an acoustic, and mic, and that's it.
Maybe nice red mic.
Yeah, the red mic, our Elvis mic, and I mean, it was a hit. You know, we had like maybe 10 people show up to the first one, but you know, it was all fun.
It became so popular after
that. And like every Friday after that, it just seemed like, you know, maybe 5 more people. You know, this friend brought their friends, and then their friends brought their friends, and
I remember like advertising at Southeastern. I was like, come to the Indy.
Yep. So Melissa had been working for the Indy, and like I would see like the YouTube videos that got posted, and I was like, wow, she sounds really beautiful, and wow, there are actually people there listening to this music. So when I got here, I knew I was going to go to the Indy. Like I had been following her for at least 6 months at that point, like looking at the videos online, and so probably our first Friday night here, we went to the Indy open.
The Indy was a coffee shop that actually, well, it was a big space. It had a stage, and it actually supported musicians in Hammond and student musicians, older musicians, whatever. It really didn't matter. Even if you wanted to get up there and like do some really bad comedy, you know, like it was a place for everybody who wanted to express something creative. You know, it was really great. Yeah. So we started going there, and
we had all the ages in one room, like, and everybody being supportive of everybody. It was like
everybody there just seemed to really love music.
Yeah.
And they didn't really care how good you were or what kind of music you played. They were just really into it. They didn't seem to have any like nobody was on a high horse about what they could do and what other people couldn't do. And so it was cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But open mic really made the Indy, you know,
yeah.
what it was.
It really did.
And that's what turned it from just a coffee house to a venue.
After, you know, maybe a month or so, we were able to upgrade our equipment, you know, some actual big PA speakers, and we got a little mixing board and a little better amp, and then
bigger stage.
We added the stage, you know, 2 or 3 times. We built the stage bigger.
Threw in some more couches because we started getting more people, and it just, everybody loved it. It was like, for me personally, like my senior year of high school, I was doing that in college, and I was working the Indy and working at another place, and just like, even though I worked here, like it was my home away from home. If I wasn't at school, if I wasn't at work, I was at the Indy. That's the first place I would go. I would always tell my parents, hey, going to the Indy, you know,
it
that's
wasn't
just
like work.
Exactly.
It was like that was our fun.
Where I wanted
that's
to
what
be.
I looked forward to doing.
I had just lost my job at Walmart. I was working at Walmart as a cashier, and I sat at home at my apartment, bored every day. And then when Melissa said, you know, she worked at the coffee shop, I went up there and just sat around there, and that really became the place where I went. I was there every day if I wasn't in school.
More than at home, we were at the Indy.
Yeah, I'd rather stay at the Indy. I mean, I slept on the couches plenty of times. I got fussed at and taken pictures of while I'm sleeping, Ari. But it was definitely a home away from home.
And open mic just made me feel so like special to be able to share the gift of music with Hammond, and everybody enjoyed it.
We had so many people, such a wide variety of people that would come play with us. I mean, you had your geezers, your Rock and Russell, and the geezers and all them.
Really talented people, like otherwise you would have no idea even played an instrument. But we all got together on Fridays and played together.
It was a nice experience, and I mean, it was also like not just we met really good people that helped out. Like,
I know the Indy gave me a lot of big connections, especially with Al. You know, I met a lot of different people, a lot of musicians. But not only that, running the sound at the open mic and all the different shows we did, I really found my career, because I mean, running sound has just become like an obsession. I love it. I'm going to school in September for ITT. Yeah, I found my calling at the Indy, and it really means a lot to me.
I think we really instilled a passion for performing in everyone, you know, that participated.
I mean, we really got to know who we were and everything with the Indy. I know as a musician, I mean, playing with other people. I would fill in on guitar, I'd fill in on drums for whatever anybody wanted, and it just opened up my
Or
musical
sometimes
abilities.
they didn't, but it's okay.
Yeah,
We made so many friends
so many friends. Definitely.
that are still friends.
Yeah, we still try to get together every now and then, like today.
Mm.
All of my coworkers.
And
Yeah,
it wasn't just
definitely.
friends, like we were a family. Like we did things together, we
Just
were always together.
together.
And it was usually at the Indy, if not, I mean, it was somewhere else.
It was
like,
it was
wasn't-
at somebody's house from the Indy, you know.
There was so much love, like it just
There was.
So we're all, you know, we're all different, but we all got along.
I always wondered, you know, how crazy that was that you could bring so many different type of people together and we all can just mesh so well. I know every place I've ever worked at, it was just, you always had drama with this person or somebody had drama with this person, and the Indy just,
And we had our drama, but because
But
we
we
were such
stood
a family,
together.
But it was like, you know,
and it was-
whatever.
we got through it.
yeah, we really were a family with that unconditional like support, you know.
Mhm.
So even when we got in fights, we would make up. And
it's great.
yeah, I miss it.
I miss it. And I know when I make my career as an audio tech, I'm going to do the best I can to bring the Indy back.
Ooh, and you gotta hire us.
Oh,
Yes.
yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
We're all gonna come back together. We're all gonna work on it together, and
Us performing again, and speaking of what he was talking about earlier, you know, it made him grow. Well, I mean, I as a performer and, you know, singer and stuff like that, like I grew as a performer. I used to have really bad stage fright, and I mean, I wasn't as bad when I got to the Indy, but I mean, it just helped me so much more. Like I'm so comfortable on stage now, and it's like, it's just, you know.
the Indy was
Really
actually the
grew.
first place I ever actually played on stage with a group of people. I mean, I've been in bands in my, you know, when I was in high school, I was in a band, but we never did anything, and I never played in front of people. And I've been to an open mic night at Kate Street and went up there a couple times, but you know, being the Indy, being that it was our place, you know, it felt so comfortable to get on stage and just share
Really
ourselves with
entertainment.
everything. It was great.
Oh, it was like it started out. I was supposed to be Artist of the Month. Alan found me. Didn't he find me on MySpace or something? Alan found me on MySpace, and he just contacted me randomly. I didn't know anything about the Indy at the time, and they hadn't opened up yet. And he wanted to meet with me about being the first artist of the month when they opened the coffee shop. And so I went and hung all my art on the wall, and
It never came down.
Became artist of the half
Artist
a
of the
year.
yeah,
Indy.
and winded up being
artists
the
of Indy.
permanent art on the wall.
It made it homey and beautiful
Yeah.
and.
All the couches and everything, it just all meshed. It really was like a big living room.
And the
And I
first
guess people got to know you know, from your art. You know.
The first day that I went to meet with Alan about putting my art up, I asked him if he was hiring people to work there yet, and he was like, yeah, we have a few spaces open. And so I was like, if you're hiring, I'm interested in working. And so I became part of the first, you know,
The
people
original
in the
crew.
crew, yeah. And from there I started, I've been a musician my whole life too, and I sing and play guitar, and I started playing at the open mics as well.
And leave it up to Ari liven the place up. Remember the
Yeah.
I remember the first time I ever saw Ari. She walked in, and she had her cute little boots on, and she had her
Spiked
black and
hair.
white scarf with her little shorts,
Just
and
the
some
best
fishnets.
style.
Oh my God.
and she was wearing one
The
of her
foxtails.
cute little the foxtail and little rocker t-shirts, and she had some like she made some stuff out of
Oh, it was like
Like
just like the
little
little
extensions?
extensions.
yeah.
Colored extensions
She
in my
looks
hair.
so hot. I was like, whoa, sexy lady. with
Not
style.
anymore. Just had a baby. Not
No,
anymore.
of course she was.
A bunch of kids got on stage and they all played their own songs. A couple kids had original songs. I mean, these kids were anywhere from like 10 to 16 years old getting on stage, probably for the first time in their life and playing their heart out. And it was just great to see the music in these kids.
Sweet.
I love that about the Indy was that like kids could come and play. Like it's
Anybody.
not like you're in a bar and you can't get in if you're underage, and families could do this together. You know.
Yeah, it was definitely a family place.
Yeah.
It was great, but for everyone, all ages.
Mhm.
And no matter what you sounded like, you could just, or what you did, you could just go
Yeah,
up
and nobody
there.
was like critical of anything either. You could, I mean, everybody appreciated one another's art. You know, no matter what they did, what they sounded like, everybody was appreciative of it.
We had our handful of people that were just like, ew. And then we had those people that just blew our mind. But I mean, they were all the same to us. They were all the same musicians. They all just great.
I gave props to the people that didn't sound so great because they
Yeah.
had the balls to go up there.
Yeah.
Wait, can I say that?